Hello, welcome to Skull RPG Podcast. My name's Dwight Skull.
My name's Jacob Skull.
And today we're going to teach you how to tell your story. We're continuing on with one-off games in case you need an idea that you need to play tonight and you have nothing prepared. Here is a concept that I would just play around with. It's not it wouldn't be an entire game session per se like any of the other ones, but it would be kind of funny to throw in, and maybe this episode will be just some kind of off-the-cuff funny to throw in. So here's an idea. Your players go into a local tavern and then they get an inn room for the night. Now, of course, the thing that the players never get asked when they're in a town and get a place for the night is are they all sleeping, or what's their order? What's their watch order? And if you ask them what their watch order is, and you should do this if you're going to plan this out a little bit more than tonight, what the watch order is, you should always be asking what the watch order is if they're in town. And they'll get complacent really quickly because they're in town. But what you could have is you could have an invisible thief or something like that. Somebody that can cast invisibility, or a group of people. One person casts invisibility on another. And you can have that person go in and steal some stuff, making move and quiet checks while being invisible, move and hide checks while being invisible, to go in and steal some of the players' stuff from them. Like literally just pick up an entire bag of holding of stuff. And then you could have this really hilarious adventure where they wake up and you have them all do a quick spot check and they all realize, oh crap, our big bag of holding is now gone. And they don't know where it was because they all slept through what they thought was a safe area.
And all your party loot's gone, so you have what's on your sheets.
Right, exactly. If even that. I mean, to be honest, right? Like, are you really carrying saddlebags? I don't think you are, Like, did you really leave all that stuff in the saddlebags out in the middle of the open? Okay, well, that's gone now, too, because that was just dumb. So all of a sudden they have, basically the clothes on their back and the weapons at their side, and they got to go search the town for their stuff, which could be a hilarious little adventure. And you can just find out it's like a medium level thief who does this to adventurers because they always drop their guard in town. And no offense, a lock on a door is nothing if you have a wizard that's casting invisibility on you and a knock spell before you go in.
Local thieves guilds still do thievery.
Yeah, like on the populace. Like, you didn't have a guard up? Oh, okay, well, here you go. And so that's one little fun thing that you could do to your players, which I thoroughly enjoy. I've never done it yet, but it's just something devious, and I like being a little devious. So that was kind of the major concept. Another one you could do with the same invisibility thing is you could have a mystery, like, cue Angela Lansbury or something, and you can have this mystery where you, in the morning, probably the biggest fighter and a handful of other guys show up at the inn. They knock loudly on your door and announce that you're all under arrest because the innkeep has been found murdered. And what you could play out there is that the innkeep's been murdered by, again, same thing, like an invisible thief or a regular thief or something like that. But you're the only guys that aren't, you're outsiders, and you're the only people staying in the tavern right now, or the inn. Thus, you're the prime suspects because the innkeep lives just like, one floor above you. And you're here.
Knows? Your barbarian's axe is missing. Why? Because it's in the back of the innkeeper.
Yeah, right. That'd be fun too. Like, you could then play up the thing where not only did he steal your bag of holding, he also stole one of your weapons and embedded it in his rival for no reason. And your guys now, have to figure out, like, you're allowed to make bail by leaving all of your weapons and all of the rest of your items that are there in the possession of the fighter or whoever the town sheriff is, basically. And you're allowed to roam the cities free, but you have no real weapons except, whatever you've memorized.
And now you have to prove your innocence to get your stuff back.
Exactly. Yeah, and your wizard in your party is just so screwed because he's got his cantrips and no spell book? Oh, I'm sorry. That's at the constable station. And so you can have this thing where they now have to figure out, like, who killed the innkeep and solve their own thing. Because, as far as the other person's concerned, like, Yeah, in a couple of days, we'll just have a trial and hang you all.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Closed shot case. Who else could have done it?
Yeah, who else? Who else would? Who else had a problem with the innkeep? Like you're like, I don't even know the innkeep's name, you know, because you never ask as players. So it can actually.
I can tell you everything I said to him. One night stay, and then that's all I talked to him about.
One night stay and a pint of ale. That's all I asked for.
Here you go. Room up on the top floor. And that's all he ever said to me.
I'm
Why
pretty
would I
sure.
murder him?
I'm pretty sure I've given him some silver. I scratched it off my sheet, you know, I mean, which you conveniently pulled out of a bag of holding, in front of said thief, drinking in the corner, who was like, "Oh, this is what's going down." So there's a couple of quick ideas where you could actually do this horrible combination of the two, and you can have a quick little fun evening with it. If you do that, make sure that you know, maybe make sure it's not just a fighter coming to do it, because the wizard could get really ugly. And I've played with some min-max characters, so what could happen, which would be really hilarious, is you look up the spell anti-magic field, and you have the local wizard show up, and he casts anti-magic field on the room, and then the fighter opens up the door and is able to confiscate your weapons with very little problems, because you have no magical items right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and make sure if you do this, you're in a big enough town where it would make sense that there's enough NPCs of high enough level to be able to detain your characters. And again, it doesn't have to come to fight or blow. It could be something where the guy's like, look, I'm more than happy if you want to clear your name, but I'm going to steal. I have to have all your stuff because I can't have you running around armed. I'm pretty sure you killed this guy. So
I'm going to do you guys a favor to prove your innocence.
Right. But
I'm taking your stuff just so you can't leave, and you can't leave the city bounds.
Exactly. I'll have guards posted. If they see you try, they'll kill you or try to incapacitate you, but accidents happen. And, no offense, no matter who you are, unless you're like a sorcerer, most of your magic is gone at that point, or a warlock or some other things, which is kind of fun. But anyway, regardless, there's how I would do some really kind of fun hilarity for just a quick one night. Again, not a whole campaign by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely enough to go on to have, the tale of when that backwater little town decided to charge you all with murder.
Especially fun to give it a name, because every time you're going to mention that name,
they all shudder. They're
going to all avoid that town like the plague.
Yeah. Oh, the quickest way through is that one town.
No.
You remember they were the ones that charged you with murder for the...
No, we're not going through there again.
Anyway, hopefully that helps, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for listening.
And for more resources, please go to skullrpg.com.